Hey everyone, welcome back. First off, I'd like to give a huge thank you to everyone that watched, liked, or subscribed over the last few days. Honestly, I'm pretty blown away. The last video hit almost 3,000 views in 4 days. For context, I normally don't even break 100 views on a video. I only started this channel recently as a fun little side project to share what I'm up to in my free time, so seeing that level of interest was completely unexpected. Because so many of you had questions about how it actually works and what you can do, today we're going to take a deeper dive into how I got Claude to interact directly with DCS Mission Editor and what features I've got working so far and how you can actually use it. Now, just keep in mind, I'm in no way claiming to be an expert. The way I got this working was by complete trial and error. I'd like to give out a huge thank you to Coconut Cockpit. I will link his YouTube channel in the description, along with the link to DCS-SMS, which is the software that actually makes all of this possible. Even without the AI portion, I think DCS-SMS is an awesome piece of software that adds features to the mission editor that makes it so much easier to create missions, so be sure to check that out. And with that, I'd like to welcome you to my flight deck, so let's get started. All right, where to start? I figure the best place to start would be to get the software that's required to get this working, and that is DCS-SMS by Coconut Cockpit. I will link his YouTube channel in the description. Highly recommend that you check it out. He's got a lot of cool information in there, cool little side projects. So you go to his GitHub. I will also link that in the description. And follow the instructions on installing DCS-SMS. It also has instructions on how to get Claude Code installed on it. So that is going to be your first step. Okay, so second step is to actually get Claude CLI on your computer and sign into your Claude account. This is actually done through the Windows terminal. I've got a guide that I'm putting together in PDF format that will walk you through this entire process to the point of where I have it. There are only basically 2 manual installs involved. One is DCS-SMS and one is to install Claude, because Claude obviously can't install itself. Luckily, Claude is installed through its official native installer, and it is installed through the terminal in Windows. The guide that I have has sections in here to tell you exactly what to paste into Claude once you have it installed. It will first let you basically install the prerequisites for this particular software. Then you can go in here and you can basically tell it, you can copy and paste this entire page here, which will give it instructions on how to build the AI that will work with DCS-SMS and the DCS editor. Once that's set up, you can go and you can basically I think at that point you can actually type to Claude if you want, but with me, I was getting tired of typing, so I decided I want to do voice recognition. So after going back and forth with Claude for like a day or so, because I have no idea what I'm doing, it finally figured out what I wanted, and I got voice recognition working. So basically, this is what you want to copy and paste into Claude in the terminal. You can then set up the text to speech, which is what the reply is. And then what you want to do is give the assistant its identity. I think this is probably optional. I named it Wilson because that is my late pug that passed away a couple of years ago, and I decided to, enshrine his name because he was awesome. So I came up with Wilson, then I came up with an acronym that it would stand for, just for fun, because I'm weird that way. Once that's all done, you can launch it using the bat file that Claude will create. And also, I also created a option to choose your microphone, because with my computer, I have multiple mics. I've got my VR headset, I've got my stand-up microphone at my desk, and I was not having fun struggling with Windows and going in and changing the main microphone for the computer every time. So Claude will ask you to enter, it'll search your computer, it'll find whatever input device that you have in there, and it will ask you which microphone you want every time you launch it. It is a push-to-talk system, so by default, it should default to pressing and holding right control in order to talk to it. You do have an option of changing that if you want with a configure command. You can change it to maybe a joystick or a HOTAS button. And that's basically it. Another thing I did, I don't know if it's actually helping or not, is I told Claude to create a dedicated folder on my computer where it will store all of the conversation information and all the data that it's collected based off of what we do in our conversations. So if I'm creating a mission and it's struggling or I'm struggling, and if we finally figure out what the problem was and it corrects it, it will store that information for future reference rather than having to try to search online for a similar or a same solution. It seems to have improved response time. I think it definitely improved the amount of tokens that I've used. I would expect when you first start this, and maybe your first couple of days, you may run out of tokens. And then you'll have to kind of wait until they refresh for the day or at whatever time they refresh for you. Highly recommended to use the pro account, because the free account you will run out of tokens guaranteed, and you don't really get very far. Once I'm done making sure this document is as accurate as I can, I will figure out a way to make it available for download or whatever. Okay, so once you get everything installed and you launch DCS, the first thing that you need to do is go into the mission editor, and you'll notice at the top of your screen you're going to see DCS-SMS. You click on that and you click on external execution, change that from off to on. It'll then prompt you to it wants to know if you want to keep it on every time you launch DCS. I would recommend that you choose yes. That way you won't forget to turn it on every time. So these options here are for other features of DCS-SMS that are not related to the AI. I might go over those in a future video. Those are pretty cool, so keep an eye out for that. And let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that's going to pop up when you launch the application is the terminal interface. This is what it looks like. I have it set up so that it will ask me, like I said before, for which microphone I'm using. So I'm going to go ahead and choose my Yeti, and that's going to go ahead and launch the AI.
Wilson here. Let's get a DCS mission built.
Okay, so as you can see, it says hold right control to talk. You can also type in this interface if you don't have your microphone set up. Let's see what Wilson has to say. Hey Wilson, how's it going?
Doing good, thanks for asking. Ready to get into some mission editing whenever you are. What are we working on?
All right, so at this point, you can actually start telling Wilson to start interacting with the game. So I'm going to go ahead and have it pull up a mission that I've started. Wilson, I'd like you to go ahead and pull up the mission called Wilson Demo.
On it 1 sec. Good, the ME bridge is live. Let me find and load the Wilson Demo mission. Found it, opening it now. Wilson Demo is loaded up in the mission editor. What would you like to do with it?
So at this point, because we have the DCS-SMS bridge going on, it actually has pretty much full control of the game. You can do cool stuff like that. I didn't actually figure that out myself until later, which is a nice little surprise. So I've created this simple mission with some problems that I've created on my own to see if Wilson can actually figure it out. Hey Wilson, go ahead and introduce yourself to the YouTube audience, and I'm going to need some help with this mission. There's a couple things I've been having issues with. The first thing is when rolling into the target, the F-14s are not triggering a message that I've set up. And also when they get onto the target area, they're not attacking. Can you help me figure that out?
Hey everyone, I'm Wilson. That's Wingman for Interactive Logistics, Scenarios and Operational Networks. I'm a mission editor and scripting assistant for DCS World, so I live inside the mission editor and help build, debug, and tune missions like this one. Now let's get into it. 2 F-14 problems. The trigger message isn't firing when they roll in, and they're not actually attacking the target once they get there. Let me pull up the F-14 group and see what's going on with its route and tasking. Found it, Refinery Strike Flight, Group ID 493, task set to Pinpoint Strike. Let me check its route and tasking in detail. That loadout jumps out immediately. Let me check the triggers too, but I think I already see problem number 2. Only 4 triggers exist in this mission: AAA Activate, Escortone, Escortwo, and Spawn Group 2, and none of them look like a rolling in message for the strike flight. Let me check each one in detail to see if the message got tucked into one of these, or got dropped somewhere. That AAA Activate trigger is almost certainly your rolling in message. It fires off a part of group and zone condition for Refinery Strike Flight. Let me check where that zone actually sits relative to the flight's route. Got it, found both root causes, and they're pretty classic mission editor gotchas. First, the message. Your AAA Activate trigger fires off Refinery Strike Flight entering a zone near the ingress point, but that zone only has a 300-meter radius, and the flight's actual route passes about 870 meters away from it. So the jets fly right past, just outside the trigger's catch radius, and it never fires. Second, and this is the bigger one, I pulled up the loadout on those F-14s, and they're carrying a pure fleet defense fit, 4 Phoenix missiles, a Sparrow, a Sidewinder, 2 drop tanks, and a LANTIRN pod. There's not a single bomb on either jet. They're tasked with a pinpoint strike against the refinery, but they physically have nothing to drop on it. That's why they roll in and just fly through. Want me to go ahead and fix both, widen or reposition that trigger zone, and swap the loadout over to something with actual air-to-ground ordnance?
So it was able to find what the issue was, both of the issues that I was having, and it was actually pretty quick this time. Sometimes it will take a bit if it needs to think a little bit longer. And just to be transparent, I will probably be editing out any extended periods of silence as it thinks. Not all the functions that it does are this quick. This was actually pretty quick. So let's go ahead and tell it to go ahead and fix the issue for me. Yeah, let's go ahead and fix the loadout. Let's assign some appropriate ordnance to the F-14s and move the trigger area so that the Tomcats are guaranteed to fly through it.
GBU-12s it is, laser guided, and they've already got the LANTIRN pod to designate for them. Let me finish equipping both jets. Loadouts are set, 8 GBU-12s total between the two jets, keeping their sidewinders, Sparrow, tanks, and the LANTIRN pod for self-defense and designation. Now let's fix the trigger zone by centering it right on their ingress waypoint and giving it some breathing room. Both fixes are in. The zone is now centered right on the ingress waypoint with a 1,500-meter radius, so the flight is guaranteed to clip it on the way to the target, no more relying on a lucky flyby. And each Tomcat is carrying 4 GBU-12 laser-guided bombs, using that LANTIRN pod they already had mounted, alongside their sidewinders and Sparrow for self-defense. They've now got real ordnance to put on the refinery. Want me to save the mission, or run it live and watch the strike happen?
Go ahead and save the mission for me.
Saved clean. Both fixes are locked into Wilson Demo Miz. Ready to fire it up and watch the Tomcats roll in whenever you want.
All right, so you probably noticed that as it talks, because it's a speech-to-text or a text-to-speech, it does not enunciate everything perfectly. Like it'll say live instead of live, or it'll pronounce all the letters of the Lantern pod, or it'll say GBU -12. That's something I've learned to live with. Kind of trying to, I'm sure it can probably be better if I use a different speech engine, but looking into the cost of 11 labs, it's just not really worth it, in my opinion. This works perfectly fine. It gets the point across. So that was a simple scenario. I've done other stuff which is more complex. For example, I've had a mission where I've had multiple waves of spawning enemies that would launch when either one group, the first group, was either destroyed or landed successfully. In that particular instance, I was having an issue where one of the escorts would just sit on the runway and just stop there and not move. Turns out that I had the escorts mixed up. So one escort would be set up to escort a different group that had already either died or spawned or despawned. That way it was just blocking the next group from taxiing and taking off. It managed to figure that out and adjust all of the escort assignments for me without me having to dig into it. Next, I will show you how I got the highlights working on my short video that I posted previously. I have a mission loaded in the mission editor with a cold and dark F-18 Hornet. I'd like you to make it so that if a player needs assistance finding a specific button or switch while doing a cold start, I'd like you to highlight that switch, and then once they find it and flip it, I'd like you to deselect that switch. Can you go ahead and make that happen?
Confirmed. Cold Start demo with the Cold and Dark Hornet is loaded. Building the full switch set now. Same real cockpit reference data the official Hornet training content uses, with that one correction applied to the right engine crank switch. All 44 triggers are built and confirmed. 22 switches covering the full Cold and Dark Hornet startup, from the battery switch all the way through parking brake. Each one lights up on request and clears itself the instant the real switch gets moved to its correct position. Ready to save, or do you want to demo one live first?
go ahead and save it, and I will launch and test.
Saved clean. Go ahead and launch it. Once you're in the cockpit, just ask me to find a switch, and I'll set the flag to light it up.
All right, so here it goes. Okay, so here we are loaded up. So let's start with something easy. Let's start with the battery switch. Help me find the battery switch in the cockpit.
Good, you're live in the mission now. Setting the flag to light up the battery switch. That's it, the battery switch should be highlighted in your cockpit now. It's the toggle switch down on the left console. Flip it up to ON, and the highlight will clear itself automatically.
There we go. Let's see if it can find something else. Can you help me find the HUD brightness knob? Never tried this one before, so let's see what happens.
Let me check what that HUD trigger actually points to before I fire it. I want to make sure it's the brightness knob and not just the HUD power switch. Confirmed, that's exactly the HUD symbology brightness control knob. Firing the highlight now. That's the HUD brightness knob highlighted now. It's on the glare shield in front of the HUD combiner glass. Give it a turn up and the highlight will clear on its own.
Perfect. I haven't tried for it to walk me through the entire process. I guess we can go ahead and try that. Can you walk me through the entire rest of the process of cold starting the Hornet? Not really sure if this will work or not.
Absolutely. Let's pick up right where the real checklist goes after battery. I'll talk you through it in order and light up each control we've got wired as we get to it. After the battery, you'd normally run a fire warning test, fire test A and B, just confirming the caution lights work, though we don't have a highlight built for that one. Next is the APU switch, which spins up the auxiliary power unit and gets bleed air flowing for engine start. Let's light that one now. That's the APU switch highlighted now. It's on the left console, just after the battery switch. Flip it up and watch the IFEI for RPM and temp coming alive. Once the APU spun up, you'll motor the right engine first. Hold the right engine crank switch over, and once you see rotation on the RPM gauge, ease the right throttle up to idle. That's our R crank switch, and I can light it whenever you're ready for it. After the right engine's stable, you bring bleed air online. Then power up the displays, both DDIs, the HUD, and the AMP.
All right, well, I'm going to stop it right here. So you guys get the idea. A lot of potential in this, I think. Like I said before, hopefully someone that sees this video gets inspired and figures out a lot more possibilities than what I have. I'm going to still be working on this for fun. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and hopefully this has inspired someone to dig deeper into the possibilities of incorporating AI with the DCS mission editor. Have a good time.